DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. I want to talk briefly, hopefully this is brief, about the Robert Sarver situation, the Phoenix Suns owner. If you read the ESPN story about him, if you didn't read the story, then you won't know what I'm talking about. But you go read that story on ESPN about the owner of the Phoenix Suns, where they try to accuse him of being misogynist, racist, etc. In this article that they put together, that was kind of a shabby article in my opinion. But we're gonna get to that in a second. Now, first of all, I send out a daily motivation text every morning straight to everybody's phone. It's free of charge. If you want to get it, all you got to do is text me. My number is 305-384-6894. It is down below in the description. Text me at that number. You get my daily motivation every day, and you can text with me. That is my number. I will respond. Now, this topic. Robert Sarver, again, owner of the Phoenix Suns. This article that came out maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know when you're seeing this. That basically it's it's several anecdotes of some maybe out of touch things that Robert Sarver said or did allegedly behind closed doors in the Phoenix Suns organization, and it's basically a smear campaign to try to make this guy look bad. And people are trying to draw this line between Donald Sterling, the former owner of the LA Clippers, who he was caught on audio using the N-word and talking about black people, and they found a way, Adam Silver found a way to force him out of his ownership, sold the LA Clippers for like $2 billion to Steve Ballmer, and basically got him out for being a racist, allegedly being a racist, but whatever way you want to see that situation. Now, Robert Sarver is not on film or on audio doing anything. These are all anecdotes and stories of things that he allegedly did. One of the stories, for example, at the beginning of the article was Robert Sarver, after the Suns had played against the Golden State Warriors, and allegedly Draymond Green was saying the N-word. He was saying nigga, nigga, nigga on the court during the game. Robert Sarver came in the locker room, and Earl Watson was the coach at the time, and Robert Sarver was like, well, why does Draymond Green get to say nigga, nigga, nigga all the time? Robert Sarver actually said the word. Robert Sarver is an old white man. And Earl Watson, who's the coach, a black guy at the time he was the coach, he told Robert Sarver, you can't be saying the N-word. Even if you're just repeating what somebody else said, you shouldn't say it. And Robert Sarver said, well, Draymond Green said it, why can't I say it? Allegedly. All right, this is all alleged. We don't have any actual documentation or film or video of him doing it. But let's just say that he said it. All right, that was one thing. Another thing that happened later in the story, there's many anecdotes. You can read them for yourself. But there was some anecdote that Corliss Williamson, who used to play in the league, he's now an assistant coach. Right, at the time he was working for the Suns, that Robert Sarver came up to him after a game and said, why did DeAndre Ayton have 0 blocks and 0 rebounds in the game? Because Corliss Williamson was the assistant coach who had been working with DeAndre Ayton. And Corliss Williamson says they talked about it a little bit. And Corliss Williamson says that because he was raised in the South, he's from like Arkansas, wherever he's from, and because an older white man approached him as a young black man, the first thing Corliss Williamson thought about was connotations of racism and slavery because a white man approached him as a black man. Really, Corliss Williamson? That's the first thing you thought about? Because a white man, the person who actually pays you, your boss, approached you and asked you, why is the person that you're working with at work not producing? The first thing you thought about was racism and slavery because you're white, because he's white and you're black. Really, Corliss Williamson? That's what you thought about? And this happened like 3 years ago. And Corliss Williamson never said anything publicly about this. But now, because somebody from the ESPN came to you and asked you to give some dirt on Robert Sarver, you came up with that, and now that's the first thing that came to your mind? Really, Corliss Williamson? So here's the thing. This is nothing but a smear campaign, this whole situation. This has nothing to do with defending Robert Sarver or discrediting anybody who's mentioned in the article, because to Robert Sarver's defense as well, his head coach is Monty Williams, a black man. His best players are Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton, all black. And Devin Booker, I would think, is half black. And his GM, James Jones, is black. And James Jones is quoted in the article saying, I ain't never seen Robert Sarver do any of these negative things, and I've been working for him for a couple of years, and I attest to he's like a character witness saying, I haven't seen any of these negative things from Robert Sarver. So it's kind of like he said with this stuff. And there's some other things in there that Robert Sarver said. Taylor Griffin, who is Blake Griffin's older brother. I don't think Taylor's in the NBA right now, but he's a basketball player. At the time Taylor Griffin was on the Suns, Robert Sarver walked in the locker room or the training room, saw Taylor Griffin lifting weights. And he saw that Taylor had shaved legs. So he said to Taylor, do you shave your legs? And Taylor Griffin said yes. And Robert Griffin said, jokingly, allegedly, Do you shave your balls too? It was kind of like a joke. And I don't see that as out of line at all. But here's what Taylor Griffin said. Taylor Griffin said that at the time when Robert Sarver said it, he laughed because it was a joke. And that's exactly what the fuck it was, a fucking joke. But Taylor Griffin says now, today, like 4 years after it happened, here's what Taylor Griffin says. Now, looking back on it, I realized it was inappropriate for a person in his position to make such a joke. Really, Taylor Griffin? Really? Now you decided 4 years later it was inappropriate for him to say that when it was a joke then, but now, because I guess maybe Taylor Griffin is woke. Taylor Griffin's black. I guess half black. He looks like he's half black, like Blake Griffin. All right, so Taylor Griffin, we'll just call him black. Now you've decided to become woke, and now it's inappropriate for him to have said that. Let's see if Taylor Griffin can figure out a way to call that racist. All right, I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure that's coming. So this whole thing is nothing but, for whatever reason, we don't know why just yet, for whatever reason, someone's trying to smear Robert Sarver to try to kind of force him out, I guess, of being the owner of the Phoenix Suns. This is just a woke ploy by whoever is in charge. Maybe it's ESPN doing it. Maybe it's someone pulling the strings for ESPN. They're just using ESPN as a cat's paw to do their dirty work in this whole situation. Now, I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast here today, and just today when I'm recording this, and it was Bill talking to Jackie McMullen, two white people, but they're both pretty woke white people. And they're talking about how terrible this is and the NBA has to do something. And they were trying to draw a parallel between this situation and the guy from the Clippers. What was his name? Donald Sterling situation. They were trying to draw a parallel. Bill Simmons was trying to do this. And I'm like, Bill, you are super duper reaching. No, this is not the same thing. No, this is not some long historic track record of any even allegations of racism against Robert Sarver. They pulled up a bunch of anecdotes that do not connect. And they are not nearly as strong. They don't nearly hold as much water as a Donald Sterling situation. You also don't have any fucking proof. This is just nothing but a woke attempt to try to drum up something in this situation where there's nothing really there. And at the same time, the best players, the coach, and the GM working there right now are all black. And none of them have any issue with the guy. And all of a sudden now, y'all want to try to draw some parallel with Donald Sterling? No, stop it. Bill Simmons, I understand you're woke. I fuck with Bill Simmons. He's still my favorite sports writer to this day, even though he doesn't even write anymore. I still fuck with Bill Simmons, but Bill is woke, and every now and then he jumps on a woke train and he goes on a woke he goes a little bit in the deep end of the woke pool. He did it a little bit here. He doesn't go too far. He knows the line that he shouldn't cross. He doesn't go too far on it. But Bill, stop it. Jackie McMullen, no. And with the Robert Sarver situation, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Another story is going to come out. And that's why I said I'm going to be brief on this, because the other shoe in this situation, if there is one, hasn't dropped yet. If there's a bigger bombshell, it hasn't come out yet. Whatever it's going to be, they haven't thrown that grenade yet. Something else is going to come out about this. But I just wanted to offer these thoughts for now and let y'all know that this is flimsy. It ain't much to this. They're going to try, but I don't think this is going to work. This is not nearly enough to do anything. The NBA said they're going to investigate, which who knows what that means. Nothing's going to come out of this. There's not going to be a fine. There won't be a suspension. Nobody's going to get in trouble, not based on this. If this is all they got, nothing's going to happen. Now, if they got something bigger, then something can happen. But based on this, what was in that ESPN story, they have absolutely nothing. This is a shot in the dark that's going to go absolutely nowhere. This is what wokeness does. It gets people trying to chase down. Basically, people are fishing for racism. People are fishing for anything to try to make a white person who they don't like look bad, so they try to find a way to make them racist. That's all this is. And this is not about defending a white person. It's not about offending a black person. This is about wokeness and what wokeness births. It births people trying to find racism when there is nothing there. That's all this is. That's the only thing that they got. It is so flimsy. It is so cheap. It's a waste of time. If the NBA wants an investigation, it's a waste of money. Whoever they got to hire to do the investigating is a complete waste of money. But because we're in this woke climate, they have to do this. So this is just a waste of resources, human resources and human capital on some bullshit. So y'all going to see that's where it's going to go unless another story comes out, unless they got something bigger. But based on this is a nothing burger is what we would call that. So all that being said, get your free copy of my new book called The Third Day. This is some actual substance. This is worth more than that bullshit article they wrote on ESPN, just trying to ride the woke train, which is what ESPN does. But anyway, they got to do what they got to do. Everybody got to eat. get this book, and I'm going to show you how to eat by giving your best effort when you least feel like it. That's what the third day is about. The decision that separates the pros from the amateurs. You want to be a pro and get paid for what you do because of your consistency. This book will show you how to be that individual. ThirdDayBook.com is the link. It is down below. The book's free. All you're going to do is cover the shipping. And send me a text. Get my daily motivation text every day straight to your phone. My number is 305-384-6894. Work on your game. Dre all day.